The next book I'd like to tell you about, something completely different, is this one, The High School Survival Guide. It's by Jess Holzman, and Jess is with us tonight, Jessica Holzman. She has a huge YouTube following with her channel about tips for students about their study, and she's put it into book form so that you can enjoy selling it to your customers. A great book for school libraries, particularly for all students. And welcome, Jess, to be able to tell us a little background behind this book and how it came about and how you came about doing what you now do.
Thank you so much for having me on tonight. Yeah, a lot of big questions there. So I always knew I wanted to help people. I always knew that I wanted to make a positive difference and be a go-to source of support. I sort of fell into being an author now, but it's one of the parts of my career that I enjoy the most. I really love the ability to share my work and create resources that can reach people all around the world, whether it's digital content or written format like this. And yeah, I had just the most wonderful experience writing it. And I also found it to be very cathartic to reflect on my time as a student and the lessons that I had learned as well. And yeah, I studied psychology, and I actually thought I was always going to pursue that as my career and pursue being a clinical psychologist. But once I completed my postgraduate diploma, I started my YouTube channel, Study with Jess, which now has over 26 million views, 420,000 subscribers. I am so appreciative of all the support that channel has received, and my viewers and all of their challenges that they experience that they so bravely actually share with me and write in really inspired this book. So I wanted this book to be something that would take on a holistic approach to student life and not just talk about study skills, but talk about confidence and positive self-talk, or getting the most out of your high school experience and socializing and having that school spirit. So throughout the book, I share my own experiences through high school, the highs and the lows, because I really wanted it to be relatable and for it to resonate with my readers. But I also share really practical tips. I break it down. I want it to be super simple, stress-free. That's what all of my work is about. It's taking that stress out of student life. You know, the amount of times that I hear from my viewers that they have been facing some really tough experiences in school where they're, you know, noticing that their levels of anxiety are now heightened, or they're feeling quite low in their mood. I really just wanted to be able to take some of that weight off of their shoulders and create something that could give that support to them and give them that additional guidance in helping them navigate some really pivotal years in their life. And just one personal experience that I also share in this book, because I felt it was really important to be vulnerable and allow my readers to connect with me and realize that they're not alone in what they're going through, whether it's challenges with studying and feeling overwhelmed, or dealing with disappointment in their grades, or perfectionism and the pressure to succeed and, you know, achieve this constant A+ result in all of their studies. I shared with them that when I actually had my first Year 12 exam, so in Melbourne, Victoria, where I'm based, we call it VCE. I'm not sure if it's still called that now, but I remember I put so much pressure on myself, and I was seated front row in the center of this large hall with 120 other students, and all I could see in front of me before reading time began was this giant clock just keeping the time and this big garbage bin. And I felt my heart just sink into my chest and my anxiety rush through my body. And I thought to myself, oh no, I'm going to be the one this year that throws up in front of everybody. It's going to be me. And that wave of panic, it was really, really scary, because I actually didn't realize at the time that I was having a panic attack. I didn't really understand what anxiety felt like in my body. And I'm so fortunate that once reading time started and I flipped open that exam paper and I realized, hey, wait a second, I know the answer to this question. You know what? I have studied really well. I really need to back myself more. And I found that confidence within, and I ended up doing really well on that exam. But that experience really shaped me. And it was the first time where I noticed I put way too much pressure on myself. And I did really well in my studies, but I feel that it was in spite of the pressure I put on myself, not because I was working so hard. And I actually think I could have worked a lot smarter and not so hard and performed just as well, if not even better.
So basically, a lot of the tips and skills to develop that you put into this book are with the hope that you'll be able to allow students today to avoid the panic and stress that you experienced when you were going through your studies.
100%. I want to be that source of support to them. And whether it's through my videos on YouTube or my content on Instagram or my blog or this book, I really wanted to be able to take them under my wing and make it really accessible, but also practical tips to
Yeah.
alleviate any additional stress and unnecessary anxiety that they might be experiencing.
You speak in the book about bringing fun into homework. I don't remember that when I was at school. Can you have fun in your homework, really?
You absolutely can, within reason, I would say. It's not always going to look like a study party, but I do actually have a chapter in my book where I thought, you know what, let's get a little bit lighthearted here. And I talk about how to throw the ultimate study party. So one of my first videos on my YouTube channel, I actually had like popcorn and snacks, and I wore a party hat and confetti. And, you know, the point of it was really just to say, look, you can do really well in your studies if you do it on your own, but why not have friends over? Why not collaborate and put your minds together and identify different gaps in your knowledge and help each other out? And in having that connection with other people and feeling more supported, it will definitely be much more enjoyable. And you can get creative. You can get out your giant mind maps and, you know, coloring paper and colored pens and highlighters. But that was probably one thing that made a huge difference to my studies when I got into university and I made some really great friends. We would study together and we would make it fun. And it just takes that stress out of the experience. And you just feel so much more supported as well.
And Jess, are you aiming this at any particular age group or just all high school students generally from beginning to end?
It's really all high school students, so age 12 to 18. A lot of my audience are based overseas as well, so I always have to clarify that because high school is a little bit different
Sure,
in Europe
each
and in
place.
the US. Yeah, it's a different age bracket there. But I didn't want it to be subject specific, so that it doesn't matter whether you're in grade 7 or grade 12. All of these tips will apply. Setting out your homework, having an effective study schedule, understanding how to organize your study space for optimal productivity and focus. It's really going to work for students of all ages.
Yeah, and it's really nicely set out with all the different chapters for those sections to easily, find what you're looking for and to get the tips in the different areas of study. I think it's a great book for booksellers to give parents who want to help their kids who are struggling or going into their final studies at the end of high school, also for students themselves to pick up to help. And as I said at the beginning, would be a perfect addition for every school library. So booksellers that supply schools should certainly be showing it to the librarians at the schools that they supply, because they would all welcome it. And probably lots of the students already know you from the YouTube channel because, like Anne Reardon before you, you've got a lot of followers that perhaps not 4.5 million, but certainly clocking up there and getting more and more with your wonderful videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So the High School Survival Guide, your roadmap to studying, socializing, and succeeding, it's available now. You get your full trade discount and you order through us, through Booktopia Publisher Services. So thank you very much. And I also will add, Jess, that you're Melbourne-based, right? And you are happy to talk to groups of students. So if any booksellers watching have school accounts and they want to mention to them that you can do so, they would be able to organize an event perhaps for you to come and talk to a school and students when COVID restrictions allowing, of course. And if they want to do that, they should just contact their account managers or me at scottw@booktopia.com.au, and we'll put them in touch with you and see what we can arrange to get the word out there face to face, not just online.